Uh,
Today's baseball contest between Stonehill and Bethune-Cookman. Let's get ready to meet today's lineup, beginning with the visitors from Stonehill. Leading things off, playing left field, number 1, Connor Pilot. Pilot, left field. Batting second in the order, in center field, number 5, Sam Parks. Parks, center field. Batting third in the order, on third base, number 16, Trey Chilla Hall. Chilla Hall, third base. The cleanup hitter is the first baseman today for Stonehill, number 37, Jack Thorman. Thorman, first base. Batting fifth in the order, the designated hitter, number 25, Blaine Lipsy. Lipsy, the DH today. Batting sixth at shortstop, number 3, Jack Marshall. Marshall, shortstop. Batting seventh behind the dish, number 15, Aiden Secondberg. Secondberg, the catcher today. Batting eighth at second base, number 4, Aaron Hurst. Hurst, second base. Rounding out the batting order for Stonehill in right field, number 11, Taylor Gaspar. Gaspar in right field. Starting pitcher today for Stonehill, the right-hander, number 9, Peter Hatz. Hatz is your starting pitcher for Stonehill. Head coach of Stonehill is Boom. And now the starting lineup for your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Leading things off in center field, number 20, Daniel Figueroa. Figueroa, center field. Batting second, left fielder, number 34, Garrett John. John, left field. Batting third in the order, the designated hitter, number 21, Jose Gonzalez. Gonzalez, the DH. The cleanup hitter, first baseman, number 29, Jorge Gonzalez Vivo. Vivo on first base. Batting fifth in the order behind the dish, number 33, Jorge Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the catcher. Batting sixth in the order on third base, number 36, Ramsey Cordova. Cordova, third base. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 4, Peter Vasquez. Vasquez at shortstop. Batting eighth in the order in right field, number 19, Sergio Rivera. Right field. Rounding out the batting order for the Cats, second baseman, number 2, Austin Olison.
Well, live from Jackie Robinson Ballpark in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida, it's time for baseball in the 2024 Bethune-Cookman University baseball season. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Chiarello, happy to have your company for another year of BCU Diamond Cats baseball. I've got Bryce Wojnowski alongside me. Bryce, a new team, lots of new faces, but the goal remains the same, get back to the SWAC tournament and push for a championship.
Yeah, obviously that's a tough hill to climb, Mike, for a team that came so close last year to taking it all in the SWAC, making that NCAA regional. There's big shoes to fill. If you're a Wildcats fan that hasn't necessarily followed the offseason super well, maybe you're not checking the roster on a daily basis, there's so many new faces. We've got 13 returners from last year, and that's it. You've got a whole lot of new baseball, a lot of JUCO guys, a historic class for Coach Hernandez. This is a new team. We've got some familiar faces who will anchor the way, Colton Olison being one I'm sure we'll get to throughout the night that just is the identity of these Wildcats. But make no mistake about it, they're still a very talented team that has their sights set on a SWAC title.
The roster for Bethune-Cookman starting today looks like this. Daniel Figueroa leads off and plays center field. Garrett Chun bats second and is in left. Jose Gonzalez, the designated hitter, batting third. The standout freshman, Jorge Gonzalez-Fibo, is at first base and batting fourth. Jorge Rodriguez is the catcher and bats fifth, batting sixth, the third baseman, Ramses Cordova. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Peter Vasquez. Batting eighth, it's the right fielder, Sergio Rivera. And batting ninth, it's the second baseman, Colton Olison, one of the standout returners from this team last year. On the hill for the Wildcats, it's a new face in Tanner Bocabello. He is a junior from Tampa, transferred from St. John's River State at the JUCO level. And he is one of the people that Coach Hernandez has brought in that he thinks could lead this team to greatness this season. He has been tabbed preseason pitcher of the year in the SWAC by Perfect Game. We'll be seeing two SWAC preseason pitchers of the year today for the Wildcats. Bocabello in game one by Perfect Game, and then Daniel Gaviria for the actual SWAC preseason pitcher of the year. First pitch is upstairs and away to Connor Keeley as the Stonehill Skyhawks from the Northeast Conference all the way up in Massachusetts visit the Jack. And the second pitch is fouled off to the right, make the count 1-1. Keeley, the top returning hitter for Stonehill from a season ago. Last year he batted .351, 34 runs on 73 hits, 1 homer, 23 RBIs. Third pitch upstairs, and it's 2-1 from Bocabello.
And with Bocabello, keep in mind, although he may have not gotten that SWAC Pitcher of the Year tab, he couldn't, because in this conference you have to have at least played 75% of the games a season ago with that team or a SWAC team. And so he does not qualify, but make no mistake, the guys at Perfect Game are keeping tabs on recruits like this. They're paying a lot of attention to that. So don't think that's a snub. It's unfortunately the way the voting is set up.
As we go through this game and we tell you about these new Bethune-Cookman players, that pitch is a fastball right down the middle. It's fouled away. The count goes 3-2. There's a lot of South Florida JUCO and Northeast Florida JUCO. A lot of Jacksonville kids, a lot of Miami and Tampa area kids on this team that have been fished out by Coach Hernandez and his staff. Here's the 3-2, and Keeley hits it in the air to right field. Rivera moving back, and he makes the catch, and there's one away.
Mentioned all the JUCO kids for the Wildcats. I'm surprised that FSCJ even has a team left with how many of them are on this Wildcats roster. I'm sure we'll get to plenty of that throughout the day today, but you're absolutely right. Coach Hernandez is all over those JUCO ranks. It's how he's made his way as a coach here.
FSCJ actually came down and played us in preseason, one of the closed-door scrimmages that we were out here watching. There's a strike on the inside corner. First pitch to Sam Parks. Stonehill only in their second D1 season. Were elevated from D2 at the beginning of last year. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded up the middle. Moving to his left is Vasquez, the shortstop, and he makes the play, and there are 2 outs.
Bocabello has massive shoes to fill as that Friday night guy, as any fans of the Wildcats from a season ago might remember, of course, with the departure of Nolan Santos to the MLB draft, taken by the Twins in the 7th round. I mean, we had a blast watching him all year last year.
Here's Trey Shula Hall, another return for Stonehill, batted .287 last year. 29 runs on 50 hits. He hits this one high in the air to right. Going back, Rivera near the track, and he makes the catch. So 1, 2, 3 go the Skyhawks. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, it's the Wildcats on offense for the first time in 2024, right here on the CatEye Network. Welcome back to the Jack. For the bottom of the first inning of BCU baseball, the Skyhawks of Stonehill went 1, 2, 3 in the first, and they will send Peter Haas to the mound. Haas did not play last year, their first season in Division I, due to a Tommy John surgery. This is his first start back. But at the Division II level 2 years ago, as a true freshman, he was dominant. He was the Northeast 10's Rookie Pitcher of the Year. It was all-week honors 3 times. He went 3-3 and averaged 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, only allowed 9 total walks, and finished with a .251 ERA. That is what this Bethune-Cookman lineup will contend with. It's Daniel Figueroa to start off for the Cats, the lefty playing center field today. Figueroa, as is a lot of these Bethune-Cookman players, from Puerto Rico originally. And the righty deals. First pitch, check swing, did he go? Yes. And the count is 0-1. Figueroa, Indian Hills Community College transfer. Hit .353 with 17 doubles a season ago as he pops one foul out of play 0-2. And he was NCJAA All-Region first team, was Daniel Figueroa. Figueroa chops this one towards second. Herbst fields and flips to first. Thorbon makes the play, and it's 1-0, 1 away.
You know, with the departure of assistant coach, hitting coach Jose Carballo to Missouri in the offseason, to see maybe a little different of approach at the plate from the Wildcats under new hitting coach Derek Cartaya. I spent a lot of time talking to him over the offseason. He's been here since October, November, so we've gotten a chance to get to know him as a staff. Certainly manages things a little differently.
Here is one returner for the Wildcats. Garrett Chun was instrumental on both sides of the ball in the deep playoff run the Wildcats had last year. And it's two lefties straight to open the top of the lineup for Bethune-Cookman. And 2 straight pitches outside and low, and it's 2-0.
Chun is a guy who very well had a shot at some SWAC preseason honors this year if it were not for such a deep Wildcat outfield last year.
That one low, 3-0. And if you're wondering why this production looks a little bit different if you tuned into our broadcast last year, there's a lot going on here at the Jack.
Yeah, we
Here's the 2-0. Or excuse me, the 3-0 is outside and ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk for Garrett Chun.
We were told a handful of weeks in heading into this season by the Tortugas. Of course, if you've been following along on their socials, if you follow Tortugas, you probably know that they're doing a lot of renovations to the jack here, and we're very excited for all those. But for now, that means there's no roof on the press box. There's no walkway up to the press box, and we are confined down to the grandstand, as is the camera, as is our whole crew. So we're making do a little bit.
Breaking ball, first pitch strike, catches the outside corner. Here's Jose Gonzalez, the designated hitter. Down from Hialeah. Check over to first. Chun slides back in safely. Gonzalez played at Ave Maria College before transferring to Bethune-Cookman. Slider misses away 1-1. Led the Gyrenes in batting average, hit .382 last year. And the pitch in the dirt. With Garrett Chun on first, the first base runner for the Wildcats this season, and a day that has been moved up to a doubleheader. Was only supposed to be one game today. Check over to first. That's close. Chun slides back in safely. Was only supposed to be one today, one tomorrow, and one Sunday. Typical weekend series, but with the threat of rain over the weekend, we moved up to a doubleheader today and potentially at a very early start tomorrow. Here's the pitch. Low. And I believe the count is 2-1.
Yeah, along with our, difference in setup down here, we having some internet issues without access to Ethernet up in the press box. If you don't see a score bug quite yet.
Ground ball to short. This could be 2. On to second for 1. Back to first. A big stretch by Thorbon at first for the inning-ending double play. Well, Chun gets a walk, but it's a ground out and a double play, and the Skyhawks blank the Wildcats in the first. We go to the second. No score between Stonehill and Bethune-Cookman. This is BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. Home conference play continues for BCU basketball Saturday, February 24th for a SWAC doubleheader. Come out and catch BCU hoops as we host Alabama A&M for a critical pair of SWAC contests. The women tip things off at 2 p.m. with the men following at 4. Admission is free with a student ID, but if you can't make it to more, all the action will be on youtube.com/CatEye Network. We go to the second. Jack Thorbon leads off for Stonehill in a scoreless game. First pitch from Boca Bello is hammered back up the middle, and there's a base hit. Thorbon jogs to first. And the first hit of the afternoon goes to the Skyhawks. I mentioned to you at the end of the first, Bryce, that Boca Bello seems to, a lot of upstairs fastballs, seems to pitch to contact guy, like to let the defense work behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple weekend guys going like that between Gaviria and Gamboa. Of course, we saw some of them last year doing a similar sort of thing. You don't necessarily have the off-speed stuff, certainly not the fastball of Nolan Santos that you had last year. But even still, this team has always been, from a pitching standpoint, one that does try to work to weak contact. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate this weekend.
Up and in on the first pitch to Blaine Lidsky. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch that broke down and away. And it's 1-1. Lidsky, a senior from South Kingstown, Rhode Island. And the 1-1. Inside on the hands. Did he swing? No. 2-1. And has played his entire collegiate career at Stonehill, Lidsky, and has transitioned with them from Division II to Division I. Swung on, chop towards second, could be 2, but it's caught on a line by Vasquez, and there's 1 away.
Skyhawks are doing a good job early in this game of squaring up on the baseball. That time just didn't quite get anything behind it. Kind of rolled over it just a hair. They've barreled some up early here.
This is Jack Marshall, the shortstop, with the runner on first and 1 out after the leadoff single by Thorbon. And the first pitch in on the hands, taken for a strike. Marshall from Newington, Connecticut. Majority of these players are from the Northeast. And the pitch. In there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Bocabello looking for his first D1 strikeout. In on the hands again, but skied foul down the left field line. That'll hit the top of the clubhouse.
If you watch Bocabello, something you'll see about the Wildcats early on this season, they've gone completely to the wristband system, so there's going to be no signs from the catcher. Last year there were some that chose to do it, others that didn't. The Wildcats have completely adopted that. You'll see Bocabello looking down at his wrist a lot early here.
Hit in the air to deep right field. Going back, Rivera, he makes the catch a step away from the track, then fires in to keep Thorbon at first. That's the 3rd catch for Rivera in the first 2 innings.
With that wind blowing so sharp out to left, just about got enough to carry it out. Not quite the right angle to push it all out there. You can hear some of that wind.
It is whipping left to right across the infield. The flag out in center field, stiff blowing out there. There's a breaking ball strike from Bocabello, and here's Aiden Sengenberger, the Barrington, New Hampshire native, the freshman catcher, with a runner on first and 2 down here in the top of the 2nd. Here's a pitch. Another breaking ball, skied to left this time. Coming on is Chun, and on the run, makes the catch to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd with no score right here on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the second here at the Jack. No score between the Skyhawks of Stonehill and the BCU Wildcats. Peter Haas back on the hill, and his first pitch is a breaking ball. Just misses the zone on the inside, 1-0. Here is Jorge Gonzalez-Fibo, someone that the Wildcat coaching staff is really high on. And the 1-0, breaking ball at the knees, 1-1. Fibo, just a freshman from Orlando, the only freshman in the lineup today. Breaking ball hammered out to left. Going back, Keeley. He's at the track. He's at the wall. Adios, amigos. How about that for a college debut? Jorge Gonzalez-Fibo goes yard.
Just the second pitch he sees, he got every little bit of that, hitting it. The wind's died down a little bit, but right against the wind, barreled it up, smacked it down over there to the batting cages. We'll have to brag about him next time up because that's all we get to see of him because he's already cleared the bases.
Unreal.
The pop is something we didn't see a ton of from the Wildcats. We haven't really seen that a lot under Johnny Hernandez team. It'll be interesting to see if they can put a lot of that together up and down the lineup, but it's certainly a great start.
First pitch swinging. Nice backhand glove by Herbst to throw out Jorge Rodriguez. 4-3, and there's one away. But I was talking to Coach Hernandez before the game, and he was quick to mention Fibo as the only freshman in the starting lineup, expecting big things from him, and he puts the Wildcats on the board immediately. And now with one down, here's Ramses Cordova. The righty takes a curveball and hammers it foul, 0-1. Cordova is a junior from Mescot, Florida, one of the few players on this team that transferred from another D1 institution in Winthrop. Fastball strike at the knees, 0-2. Now Cordova coming back to his home state to play. Ball in the dirt, 1-2. He's played at Timber Creek High School in the Orlando area, but started at St. John's River State, the junior college level, and last year at Winthrop hit .274. And he stays alive, tips one foul off his foot, and account holds 1-2.
With how impressive a recruiting state Florida is for baseball, I mean, across all sports, it's always impressive when you can get such talented guys to come back home and play ball close to home.
And that one got him on the rear end, and he will trot down to first base, and that'll bring up Peter Vasquez.
Certainly the kind of blips you'd expect to see from somebody coming off a year off the mound like Peter Haas has.
And you wonder how much giving up that bomb to Fibo affected him, because he sat down the Wildcats 1-2-3 pretty quick in the first inning. First pitch to the lefty is grounded to first, could be two. Down to first, Thorbon. The return is off the bag. Haas covered, but he couldn't get his foot to stick, so it'll be a fielder's choice. Cordova out, 3-6. And Vasquez on with a fielder's choice.
There's certainly a lot of speed on this Wildcats team. That's one of the characteristics we've seen under Coach Hernandez. A lot of guys that can really run it. Some faster than others. We've had some devious base stealers in the past, but a lot of guys who can get down the line, gut out plays like that when you need to.
Last year there was so much speed on this squad. I'm thinking of guys like Manny Sufrain. Hit in the air, foul down the right field side by Sergio Rivera.
Yeah, you had guys like Malik Stevens who were basically get on first base and go.
Highland Hall was like that too.
Absolutely. I don't expect the Wildcats to be quite a dink and dunk steal bases type team, but it's a great asset to have.
Spinning a throwback to first. Haas has been aggressive with the pickoff attempts. That's the third already this game. Rivera. And the ball gets away from the catcher, but Sengenberger recovers and keeps Cordova, Vasquez at first. Sorry, Sergio Rivera from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. A Florida Southwestern State transfer. He stares at a 1-1 count, and Haas deals. Swung on, chopped foul into the BCU bullpen. And again, a lot of these names unfamiliar to us here at the table, as they are to you watching at home. we'll learn their stories and follow their accolades all season long. The 1-2. Runner goes, hit in the air, foul territory, right-hand side, but playable. Thorbon moving over, and he makes the catch. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 left. And the Wildcats take the lead off the Jorge Gonzalez Fibo home run, and we go to the third, 1-0 BCU right here on the CatEye Network. Aaron Herbst leads off for the Skyhawks. Start of inning number 3, 1-0 Wildcats on the Gonzalez Febo home run in the bottom of the inning. First pitch from Bocabello. From the stretch, swung on and chopped foul. Nice catch at third base by Pat Bowen, the head coach of Stonehill.
Always love the lighthearted cheers from the crowd, from the players when you see a grab like that from a coach.
Bowen now in his 26th season as the head coach of the Skyhawks. Chopped that one foul, 0-2. Stonehill last year in their first Division I season, 14-35. Here's the 0-2, hefty breaking ball, and Herbst stays alive. And this year they start a big old Florida swing, 3 here. Well, we're trying to get 3 in here, and 3 at Florida Atlantic. And then Miami as well to close out their opening home swing. That one comes upstairs and gets Herbst on the bill of his helmet, so he'll take first base.
Yeah, like you mentioned there, Mike, for Stonehill, it's a far cry from what they're experiencing back home, and talking back and forth with their SIDs throughout the week. They were snowed in for the first, about till Wednesday of this week, so you'll see a lot of these teams come down here early in the season. Just nice to get away from all of that down here. A little warmer, a little windier than we'd like, but otherwise it's really beautiful out here at the Jack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got Northwestern coming in 2 weeks.
Maine going to make a trip down here.
I think Maine plays us on the end of their Florida swing. They are also starting the season down here. Bit of a delay before Taylor Gaspar steps into the batter's box for Stonehill. Gaspar last year batted .250, 22 runs on 34 hits, with a 1 homer and 16 RBIs. And he's got Herbst on first base after the hit by pitch with nobody out. Bocabello checks over there and finds nothing.
A little bit of a dangerous high throw over there to first. Wildcats got in trouble a little bit last season with a lot of throwovers.
Inside and high on the fastball from Bocabello. And it's 1-0 to Gaspar. Gaspar, the junior outfielder from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And now we're going to have a meeting for the umpires. I could hear somebody from the BCU dugout calling for that to be a foul ball tipped into the glove.
You could hear a little bit of the kind of ting off the metal bat. Not sure.
And they will call it a ball. So 1-0.
Home plate official kind of gave Johnny a Sorry, tough, but we couldn't really make that call there.
Gaspar on base percentage last year was a career high 362. And he fouls this one straight back, and there goes our microphone. I was afraid that would happen.
Yeah, the odds of that happening, not super high, but it's one of those things you put it there and you're like, there's no doubt.
Oh,
We'll
well.
fix that.
We'll get that in
shortly.
between innings.
Get to hear more of our voices, a little less of that ambient sound.
Ground ball to the shortstop, could be two. On to second for one, no play at first as Vasquez had a bit of trouble picking that off the dirt. But they do get the lead runner, 6-4.
And it's going to be really important early on in the season to see how Colton Olison anchors this infield. He's the one guy on opening day who was here on opening day last year. And we know the kind of leader he is, especially defensively. He's the guy that'll call off his center fielder from a mile away to catch a ball out there. He is the captain of this team. Maybe not officially, maybe doesn't have a C on the chest, but absolutely in that locker room, he is the captain.
I believe last year, many times, I called him the black hole defensively because he just sucks up everything hit his way.
He is outstanding, but it's up to him to kind of communicate, make sure the communication from everybody is key, get everybody on the same page, take command of those, iffy situations, and just do what he does.
Back to the top of the order with Keeley. Breaking ball low on the count, 2-0. Keeley, his first time up, flied out to right. Every ball with every batter in the first 2 1/3, with the exception of Garrett Shun in the first for the Wildcats to do a 4-pitch walk, has put the ball in play. There have been no strikeouts in the game. That's right down the middle for strike one.
And, I would anticipate a lot of games throughout this season looking that way. This is going to be a pitch-to-contact team, especially on Saturday, especially on Sunday, and the Wildcats are going to hit to contact. They're not the guys that are going to square up for the perfect pitch and try to hit a bomb.
Swing and a miss, and a fastball down and in, 2-2. Nice one from Bocabello.
And, as just a fan of the game, a fan of baseball as a whole, it's a refreshing brand of baseball to see. It's further away from the 3 true outcomes and more of, work your game. And if that's small ball, if that's, hitting little things here or there, it is
There's a strike 3 called outside corner. Runner doesn't go. And that's the first strikeout of the game we just talked about. Nobody's been sat down. Well, a reverse K for the first strikeout of the season for Bocabello. And there's 2 down. And here's Sam Parks, who grounded out to the shortstop his first time up.
Yeah, that pitch was excellent. Painted that outside edge. It's going to be key for this whole Wildcats staff is just that command. When the stuff isn't there to bail you out every time, the command is going to be so key.
There's a strike outside corner to the lefty. Stonehill picked last, that's 11th, in the 2024 Northeast Conference preseason poll. Breaking ball, chop foul, out of play, and it's 0-2. And if you're a longtime BCU fan, some of the NEC baseball teams may sound a little bit familiar to you. Coppin State, Delaware State, Norfolk State, and Maryland Eastern Shore. That one way upstairs, and it's 1-2. The MEAC did not have enough baseball teams left after the departure of North Carolina A&T, and I'm struggling to remember the other one that left to go to the CAA. Hampton. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, grounded foul out of third. And it holds 1-2 again. The MEAC did not have enough teams to field a baseball league via the NCAA guidelines, so they have a partnership with the NEC to play in that league for baseball. Did he go? Yes, he did. That's strike 3, and down goes Parks. So 2 straight strikeouts for Bocabello to close the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Wildcats right here on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the third. Wildcats with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of the solo shot by Jorge Gonzalez-Febo in the second inning. And Colton Olesen leads off, and he takes a pitch inside from Haas. 1-0. We sang Olesen's praises in the last inning, but the only true returner that was here on opening day last season, he grounds this one to short. Marshall fields and fires, and there's one away.
I talked to Coach CatEye a little bit yesterday leading into today, asking overall thoughts about the weekend, and he said that he was happy that today got moved to a doubleheader because a lot of the nerves, a lot of everything that goes into the cachet of opening day and, oh, it's opening day, it all goes out the window when you got 2 games to play. You get right in, you got no time to pause, to think about it, to overthink about it.
Figueroa chops it slowly back to the mound. Haas fields and fires, and there's quickly 2 down.
And I think to CatEye's point, we've already seen when a freshman is hitting a bomb on opening day, it's clear that opening day didn't get to the freshman. And, you know, Bocabello's been sharp, minus a few, you know, little pitches here or there that have been outed, but otherwise he's been sharp, and that's what you want to see. You can't let that moment opening day get to you, especially if you got title aspirations.
Now with 2 down, here's Garrett Chun, who drew a 4-pitch walk his first time up. Apologies, we're still trying to figure out the ambient microphone situation.
Again, on the technical difficulties front, if you don't see a score bug, I promise there will be one this season. We've got it set up. We're having some internet things. Camera will be in a better spot. Hopefully we'll have a better camera. We're planning on putting together a great production this year, but when we're limited as far as where we can work, how we can do it, our resources, power, everything else, we're trying to make do.
Fastball right down the middle in the count 1-2 to Garrett Chun. Drew a 4-pitch walk his first time up and then was caught in the middle of a 6-4-3 double play. Ball in the dirt, count 2-2. And we've seen Haas, ever since the home run by Febo, lose a touch of command. Steal some stuff high, hit a batter, a couple of pitches in the dirt. Here's the 3-2. And ripped foul. That'll get all the way to the river. And the count holds full.
This Wildcats team had such a great eye in their postseason run last year. Didn't let pitches that were questionable stumble them. They kept going and made pitchers pay for it.
Garrett Chun works a walk after being down 0-2. And it's his second of the game.
It's the kind of stuff we saw from the Wildcats all of last year. We did see a handful of weekends where guys were a little bit jumpy, kind of swinging early in counts. But again, this is a new hitting philosophy under Coach CatEye. It'll be fun to see how that kind of unfolds here over the first couple of weekends. But they've been solid at the plate approach-wise to start this one for sure.
And the ball, oh, I thought the ball skipped away. It was Garrett Chun's sunglasses. Thorbon's sunglasses that came off and skipped away. But Chun dives back in safely. Gonzalez grounded out 6-4-3 double play his first time up. And the first pitch to him is in the dirt on the outside. Because we don't have the press box, we don't have access to the video board. We got the old manual scoreboard out there in left field. That one in the dirt again, 2-0.
Appreciative of some of the lucky grad assistants or others that we've rounded up to manage it out there. It's certainly no easy job. Fortunately, while the weather's a little nicer, it's not quite as miserable.
It's in the upper 60s today, a bit of wind, a bit of cloud. Here's the 2-0, straight down the middle, 2-1. I'd like to say a typical Florida day to any of those of you listening back in Massachusetts to Stonehill. Ground ball back towards second base. Out of position was Herbst, but he recovers and makes the play. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. And we go to the top of the 4th. Still 1-0 Cats on the CatEye Network. To the fourth we go. Wildcats with a 1-0 lead. And Trey Chula Hall leads off for Stonehill. Chula Hall flied out to right field to end the first. One of 3 putouts so far in the game for Rivera. He's been a busy man in right field. I recall a game last year, Alabama A&M was down here, where we had Highland Hall out in right. I think he made something like 6 or 7 straight outs.
Sometimes the ball just finds you.
A 1-0, right down the middle, swing and miss. And it's 1-1. Chula Hall last year batted .287 with a team-leading 15 doubles. Nice frame job on the bottom corner of the plate by Rodriguez, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, Bocabello really looking at that bottom edge of the plate. Start this at bat.
Brings the blue glove up to his face. Now into his motion. Swung on, lasered to left. That's going to get down for a base hit.
Well, just as I say that, he pulled another one down in that bottom corner on the bottom outside half of the plate. But that time was taken advantage of, knew it was coming. Nice ball out there to left center.
Second hit of the game for Stonehill, and here's the man that had the first hit of the game for Stonehill, Jack Thorbon. Put one right exactly the same place to left field. His first time up to bat. And now he's got one on and nobody out. And Bocabello deals in the dirt, ball 1. Nice job by Rodriguez to keep it in front of him.
Catching situation will be an interesting one to follow for BCU this year. Irvin Escobar enjoyed a solid season last year, an outstanding run in the tournament. He's still very much a part of this squad, but with some new arms in there, guys are comfortable with different guys behind the plate. Good to see how all that shakes out early.
Ground ball straight to the shortstop. He takes it himself, throws to first, double play. Well, how do you like that? Vasquez playing in the perfect position up the middle to take it himself and fire to first.
It's a really nice heads-up play. Good communications by all sides, watching Olsen stay away from second base, let Vasquez do his thing. Takes it all the way in himself. Great play.
And now here's Blake Lidsky. With 2 down. And the pitch. Breaking ball doesn't catch the top part of the zone, 1-0. Bocabello tries to find that exact same spot again and misses it, 2-0. Slow start to this AB. Here's Bocabello's 2-0. Down the middle, swing and miss. And after those 2 Ks to end the third, he's seemingly a little bit more aggressive, trying to paint those corners, trying to get some swing and misses.
Interesting, the last batter with the base hit worked all outside, now working all inside.
That one chipped straight back to the fence. We are sitting right back where that ball was. If there was no fence, we would have been hit right in the face.
And another ball, that time a fastball in on the hands. Very clear kind of what the scouting report is on these batters.
From 2-0 to 2-2 with 2 down, and swing and a miss at a fastball low. Bocabello gets out of a little jam with a nice defensive play by Vasquez and a strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, none left. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-0 Bethune-Cookman. We go to the bottom of the fourth, and make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman Athletics to the fullest by the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. First pitch at the bottom of the fourth is a fastball strike outside from Peter Haas. Jorge Gonzalez Febo leads off. He took the second pitch he saw deep to left for the only run of the ball game. And that one downstairs, 1-1. So it'll be interesting to see how Haas attacks Febo now that he has known that he has got power. He works quickly, here's the 1-1. And it's bounced past the catcher, cricket style, 2-1.
I think it's pretty clear how he's working against him to start this, AB. Everything's been outside, everything's been low. Not giving him a ton to work with.
Febo swings and misses, and he went outside and low again. The count 2-2.
I think that was a good pitch that Febo might want to have back. Missed it by just a hair. Had a good swing on it. Timing was right.
2-2. Breaking ball misses low, 3-2.
Yeah, he's not having it. He is not giving Febo anything to hit, anything to sniff at. So it's up to him to show some patience.
I'm guessing this will be low and away again. Here's the 3-2. It's right down the middle and chopped towards second. Backhanded by Herbst, who throws across, and there's one away.
Yeah, that was a bit of a missed spot from Haas. You could see where the catcher set up, but didn't end up mattering. Still got in a little bit from where George was expecting it. So he gets away with it.
Here's Jorge Rodriguez, grounded out to second his first time up. Herbst has been a busy man over there. It was the middle of the double play in the first and has 1, 2, 3, 4 putouts outside of that. This time it's hit in the air to right center. Going over there and leaping up and making the catch is Parks. A terrific diving grab to rob Jorge Rodriguez of extra bases.
Jackie Robinson Ballpark is a great place to see some really solid defense because just how massive that outfield feels, especially at the collegiate level. We see it a lot from BCU throughout the season. There's a great one right there from Stonehill.
And now with 2 down, here's Ramses Cordova, hit by a pitch in the first and then was part of a double play, or in the second rather, and then was part of a double play. First pitch high, second pitch on the way. It's down the middle, and it's 1-1. We talk a lot about the wind here at this park. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball slider missed outside. You can tell that Cordova was looking at it. Usually the wind blows in from right field. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, line towards short, and it gets past the diving glove of Marshall and into left field. And there's a base hit for Ramses Cordova, and there's a man on with 2 away.
Don't stop there because he's going all the way to third. A little bit of miscommunication in the outfield. Squeaked through 2 defenders and rolled just about all the way to the wall.
So we're going to give him a single and a 2-base error. There's no official scoring, so I can score it how I want.
I'm not sure who they're going to credit it with.
I would go E7.
It honestly may be one of those things that doesn't necessarily get credit as an error because you talk about mental errors are not usually credited in the books officially.
I'm giving him an error.
and listen, like you said, by all means, that is your right as your scorer to do that. We'll be interested to see what they score that as.
Well, now with 2 down and a runner 90 feet away, here's Peter Vasquez, who grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. Can't look away here. You think something's going to be a routine play. Chopper to second. Herbst has been rock solid there defensively, and the Wildcats do not punish Stonehill for the error. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on. And we go to the 5th. It's Bethune-Cookman 1, Stonehill 0 right here on the CatEye Network. To the 5th inning we go. Feels like we're flying along here opening day at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Bethune-Cookman on top of Stonehill College 1-0, courtesy of a Jorge Gonzalez-Febo home run. Jack Marshall, the shortstop, leads off for the Skyhawks. Marshall flew out to right field in his only plate appearance in the 2nd. First pitch from Bocabello, breaking ball misses low. And it's 1-0. And you went over and checked with our official scorer, Brian Harvey, and credited that as indeed an A7 in that last inning. High pop, right side, out of play. That'll hit the Budweiser bullpen. And for a while, Bryce, it seemed like we might be all the way over there behind the Skyhawks bullpen.
We talked about the Turtle's Nest is what they call it over there, the little roofed area. There was the Budweiser bullpen, of course.
Oh, look out. Marshall gets hit. That second hit by pitch for Bocabello. And there's a runner on with nobody out for the 2nd inning in a row. Last time, the Wildcats dealt with it with a double play and a strikeout. Here's Aiden Sengenberger, flied out to left his first time up. Only action for Chun in the ball game outside of picking up 2 line drives and throwing them back in for the 2 base hits the Skyhawks have. That time a nice fast strike fastball at the knees. Still game 1.
The old strike ball.
Potentially upwards of 40 games on the CatEye Network for baseball this year. They try the bunt. Ball goes low. And Marshall comes back to first. We'll be going on the road a little bit, doing some audio-only games when the Wildcats travel to some in-state opponents, although not next week when the Wildcats visit UF, like 2 weeks from when the Wildcats visit UF. That one will not be. But most of the other in-state trips I'll try to get out to.
Would love to make the FGCU trip, but we've got basketball.
They will bunt it down the first base line. Bocabello throws to first, and Marshall advances on the fielder's choice. So now with a runner on 2nd and 1 out, here's Aaron Herbst. Herbst was hit by a pitch and caught it a fielder's choice his first time up. Fastball just misses low to Herbst.
Bocabello's really loved that bottom outside half, especially to right-handed hitters. Kind of been eating it up throughout the start of this game.
He goes there again and gets a swing and miss. And if you're painting somewhere, that's probably the best area to be painting. Get a lot of ground balls that way.
He has been pretty consistent at hitting that spot.
This time he misses it just a bit high, and it's fouled back to the screen. Again, not a place that we are used to broadcasting from. It looks like it's coming right at us.
I would like it on record that I have yet to flinch from any of those.
Breaking ball laced foul down the third base line. Good contact there from Herbst, but the count is 1-2.
They've barreled up some balls pretty well, and I know I said it a lot last season, but in today's game, when you start to see teams, you know, barrel it up, get good contact early, it usually ends up paying off at some point. We'll see if that comes to be for Stonehill later in this game.
Big swing and miss on the outside corner, and Herbst goes down. Third strikeout for Bocabello, and there's 2 away.
Of course, you're not really going to get a chance to make any good contact with pitches like that. Bocabello's done a really good job of finishing when he's up in the count. A lot of great strikeout pitches. That low, sometimes he's gone with the breaking ball down there, but the fastball down in that bottom corner is really frozen a lot of guys, especially when the pitch before he's mixing it up and going high or going inside and going right back to it, and guys can't keep up.
First pitch to Taylor Gaspar. Nasty breaking pitch catches the inside corner, and it's 0-1. Gaspar, the 9-hole hitter, reached on a fielder's choice in the third, but then was stranded with 2 straight strikeouts. Another breaking ball misses low, 1-1.
It's interesting in the era of the high fastball kind of dominating, especially the professional game. Most of his fastballs today have been low in the zone. He's really gone to that breaking ball to paint that upper corner.
Right down the middle with a fastball. Gaspar doesn't offer, and it's 1-2. The Wildcats a strike away from getting off out of another leadoff single situation. Well, leadoff batter situation. This time it was a hit by pitch. Tries to go with the killing blow outside and low. Gaspar doesn't offer, and it's 2-2.
Like we've already talked about, that's been his bread and butter strikeout pitch early in this game. When he's missing, he hasn't been missing by much. It's really exactly what you want in a Friday night guy, just elite command to start this.
Oh, there you go. You talked about the high fastball. He dials it up, and Gaspar goes down swinging. So for the third inning in a row, Bocabello strikes out the last batter of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Wildcats looking to add to a 1-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Wildcats with a 1-0 lead over Stonehill College. First of a doubleheader here at the Jack to open the 2024 season. Both teams have had 2 hits, but the Wildcats have had one that made it count, the Jorge Gonzalez-Febo home run. Breaking ball in there for a strike to the 8-hole hitter, Sergio Rivera to lead it off. Rivera popped out in foul territory to the first baseman his first time up. Sengenberger tried to frame that slider up, but it misses outside, and it's 1-1. Both pitchers working pretty expediently here. Here's Haas's 1-1 low and inside, and I see the pitch clock system out there is dark. Again, we don't have access to the press box. Fouled straight back 2-2.
I do believe the plan once it's open is in collegiate baseball this year, you're supposed to, if your facilities have it available, you are supposed to utilize the pitch clock. But it's connected to the same software, the same computer that the video board is, and so until we can access that, we can't access the clock.
Chop foul into the BCU bullpen, and Rivera stays alive. Rivera, the transfer from Florida Southwestern State. And he watches one arc into the dirt, and it's 3-1. Correction, 3-2. Full count. Last year in Florida Southwestern, hit .295, 10 doubles, 6 triples, a homer, 13 RBI. And here's the full count delivery. He grounds this one towards third softly. Hall reaches over, skips it to first, but the throw is not in time, and it's a base hit for Sergio Rivera.
It's kind of a textbook infield single there, but an absolutely great hustle to get down the line. Plenty of guys wouldn't beat that one out.
Gonna bring up the second baseman, number 2.
And now here's Colton Olison, who grounded out the second his first time up. Comes up with nobody on, and Rivera on first. Rivera actually started at the Power 5 level, played 36 games his freshman season at Kansas out of the Big 12. Spin it a throwback to first. And Rivera drives in safely. Mostly use it as a defensive replacement in the late innings out in Kansas. getting the start here today at Bethune-Cookman. Ground ball, softly hit towards short, but the shortstop Marshall's out of position and everybody's safe. Base hit for Colton Olison, and there's 2 aboard with nobody out.
You know, we don't get as good of a look at it from down on field level of the overall, you know, positioning of fielders, where guys are, but that's the second time this afternoon that Stonehill, especially the shortstop spot, has been kind of in a funky array right there, and the first time they got away with it, the second time, no man's land.
It almost looked like he thought that ball was going to the third baseman, so he was setting up for the double play. Anyway, 2 on, nobody out. Here's the top of the order with Daniel Figueroa. He drops a bunt down the first base line. It's a beauty. He is out by half a step at first base as Thorbon comes over and fires to Herbst. But he will get some applause from his dugout trotting back, and now the Wildcats are set up. Second and third, 1 out, and here's Garrett Shun.
Not a lot of leadoff hitters are going to drop down a bunt like that. But when you can do it that way, put your guys in a position to score, that's great team baseball.
Now Garrett Shun swings and lines the ball up the middle. There's a base hit. 1 run scores. That's Rivera. Olison racing home. He'll score. It's a 2 RBI single for Garrett Shun. He picks up right where he left off last season, and the Wildcats lead 3-1.
And that was a fantastic piece of hitting right there. The ball saw it really well out of the hand early. It was a bit low, but right down the middle. Got a bit under it, flared it just over the infield and out there into left center. Absolutely textbook.
Already 3 hits in the inning and a sac bunt. The Wildcats finally look like they've got to Peter Haas.
And a lot of credit goes to Figueroa for laying down that bunt.
Outside corner first pitch to Jose Gonzalez is outside 1-0. Gonzalez hit into a 6-4-3 double play to end the first and then grounded out to second his first 2 times up. Wildcats already 2 runs on 3 hits in the inning. And that one's low, breaking ball missed. And Shun scampers back to first. I talked to Coach Hernandez before the game, and he said one of the keys, especially in game 1, was going to be getting Haas out of there early. Breaking ball, check swing, did he go? Yes. And the count, 2-1.
You know, on the mound, this Stonehill team last year, you look at the 8+ ERA as a staff, and you get a little wary of what they have, but they did when they got to conference play, lowered that by 3 runs to around a 5.53. They've got some arms in there. A couple of freshmen last year coming into the season with a year of experience that were solid for them.
2-1, golfed sky high in the infield. Herbst from his second base spot makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
And you know, that strategy for the Wildcats, getting the starter out is you look at it at its base level and say, well, yeah, of course, everybody wants to get to the bullpen as fast as possible, but especially once you get to SWAC play, these bullpens are so wide open. It's the Wild West once you get out to half of these SWAC bullpens. If you can get there, you can really take advantage.
And we saw it in the SWAC tournament, right? Games like Jackson State, the 2 games against Grambling State. Once we got that rotating wheel of arms out of the bullpen, the Wildcats just ate them up offensively, was able to dominate some of those games. Outside the first pitch to Gonzalez Febo, and this is the spot where you really want your power guys up. 1 on, 2 out, 2 already in the inning. It's a 3-0 ball game in favor of the Wildcats here. Game 1 of a doubleheader at the Jack today. Another spin and a throw back to first.
And we'll have plenty of time all season to brag on Gonzalez Febo, but for a freshman to hit in your cleanup spot opening day is massive as far as you think about what that means for the head coach.
And to go deep on his second collegiate pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
That one definitely fooled him a little bit, kind of a looping, slow swing. Don't think he was expecting it to get there when it did.
The partly cloudy has turned into mostly cloudy here in the last 10 minutes. That one tailed away. Good eye by Febo to not bite on it, and it's 2-1. Correction, 3-1. And for the second straight at bat after Febo hit the home run, Haas has given him absolutely nothing. 3-1. upstairs. Correction, the count was 2-1. It is now 3-1. Again, we got the manual scoreboard out there. With how quick the game is running, it's tough to run that thing. Another throw to first. And Chun is safe. We do have a couple of purple jerseys working out there in the bullpen. Of course, from our angle, can't really see who's out there.
Got a whole dugout of Skyhawks in our way.
Febo looking at a 3-1 from Haas. The righty winds and fires from the stretch, and it's a swing and miss. Cutter in. But Chun does take the first stolen base of the Wildcats from the season and go to second. So now runner on second with 2 down, and the count full to Febo.
Looks like Pierce Friedman, the righty out there warming.
3-2. Hit in the air to left field and foul. And he got just a little bit too much of that one.
It was certainly a rope, just rope about 10 yards too far down left field.
You hear that bat go clang, and you see the ball fly, and you go, oh no, here we go again. Full count, 2-out runner on second. The pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Across his body, Herbst makes the play, but still 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left, and the Wildcats head into the 6th inning with a 3-0 lead right here on the CatEye Network. In case you missed it, recap all the excitement of a historic National Signing Day for Bethune-Cookman football by checking out the 2024 National Signing Day show. Hear from head coach Raymond Woody Jr., offensive coordinator Joe Gerbino, and defensive coordinator Robert Wimberly for an inside look at everything Wildcats football. You can catch it all anytime at youtube.com/CatEye Network. We head to the 6th inning, top of the order for Stonehill, as Connor Keeley stands in for his 3rd look at Tanner Bocabello. Keeley flying to right and struck out in his first 2 plate appearances. And if you haven't checked out that National Signing Day show, please do. It's a great honor to be a part of that and work with some of the football operations team, of course, our own CatEye Network team, to produce something, not a live broadcast, but something more television-like.
Yeah, we appreciate the time from Coach Woody, Coach Gerbino, Coach Wimberly.
In on the hands, fouled away, 1-2.
You know, those guys are really excited about that whole production. They're really excited about the team, of course. Exciting season.
Got spring game coming up soon.
20th of April. Football never ends, does it?
Nope. Breaking ball misses low, 2-2. And you think the Super Bowl was just a couple of days ago. But football goes on, especially at the professional level. Fouled away by Keeley, and the count holds 2-2. You've got arena football starting soon, the new United Football Spring League, CFL, European League of Football. It's a year-round sport now.
Baseball season.
Here's the 2-2. I agree. It is baseball season. Right down the middle, you heard the grunt from Bocabello as Keeley slaps it foul. Tanner is working hard out there.
These guys kind of could hear that. I'm not sure how well it translates over the broadcast, but he's grunted just about from pitch 1 all the way to now. Some guys, that's their thing.
Takes some off of it. It's a short grounder. Third baseman fields and fires, and safe. So a carbon copy of the infield single that led off the bottom of the last inning for the Wildcats, as Keeley is aboard.
That always dangerous, slow bouncing ball. You can come in on it as much as you want, and you know, we saw Vasquez do that right there, but still can't track it down fast enough. If you hustle down the line, that's base hit every time.
So for the third straight inning, the Skyhawks have the lead runner on. Here's Sam Parks. And Bocabello deals. Fastball strike outside corner at the knees, 0-1. Parks grounded out in the first, struck out in the third. But this is maybe the most threatening the Skyhawks have looked all game, since this is the top of the order. And the lefty chops it to second. Olison to second. No play at first. It'll be a fielder's choice to get the lead runner.
Important spot for a guy in his first year with the program, opening day. Like you said, the most threatening opportunity maybe that the opposing team has had so far. You really want to see him lock in, because this is nothing compared to what you're going to see in conference play. Maybe on some tough midweekers if you've got a big-time program on the ropes.
Breaking ball strike, first pitch to Trey Chula Hall. And speaking of midweekers, we've got the first one coming up here at the Jack on Tuesday. The FIU Panthers are in town. Another breaking ball, golfed out to shallow left, charging it, and it lands in the Bermuda Triangle. And that'll be a base hit for Chula Hall. Parks advances to second.
That really was about as in between those three guys as possible. No one was really out of position. No one didn't hustle in on the ball. All three guys were sprinting full speed to try to make it out there. No one had even a remote shot at tracking that one down.
So now 2 on, 1 out. This is the first time in the game that the Skyhawks have had 2 on at the same time. And here's Jack Thorbon, who singled in the second and then grounded into a double play in the fourth. And the first pitch is low, ball 1. The Wildcats, no action in the dugout, no action in the bullpen. This is Bocabello's ride. We saw that a lot last year, where Coach Hernandez loved to ride his starting pitcher. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
You know, the Wildcats have a handful of bullpen arms that they would say are those they want to go to in tight games and close. If you don't have to burn any of those in an opening weekend contest, they would take that every single Friday the rest of the year.
And Coach did say to us before the game that they are a little light on bullpen arms today. They'd like the starters to go deep, and they may ride Bocabello almost to their own detriment a little bit just to try and save those arms. It's not a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, but if you can get out of the first game of a doubleheader only using 2, maybe 3 pitchers, you set yourself up well for game 2. But Bocabello behind here 3-1 to Thorbon. Thorbon fouls it away, and it's 3-2.
Bocabello continues staying on the outside of the plate. Right or lefty up. It's been where he's at. This is a spot we've seen a lot of those low fastballs in that bottom corner. May go upstairs.
Chop, foul behind the plate. Count holds full, and just as I said it, we've got a bunch of action now down in the Wildcat bullpen. Thorbon started his career, first 2 seasons at Northeastern University. 22 hits, 8 doubles, and 5 home runs a season ago, and that time he strikes out looking with a beautiful cutter on the outside corner.
Cut fastball outside edge. That time it works in, cuts in, just taps that outside of the plate. He has owned the outside edge of the plate on both sides all day.
Now here's Blaine Lidsky, the designated hitter. He's lined out to the shortstop and struck out in his first 2 plate appearances. But he's on in a big spot here with first and second 2 down. Breaking ball cut on and missed. And it's 0-1. That one, another breaking ball that catches the low part of the zone. And Bocabello way ahead 0-2. Looking at the bullpen, I see Jamie Villafane out there. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air, high to right field. Rivera going back near the wall makes the catch, and the Wildcats get out of another jam. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And we go to the 6th inning, and it is 3-0 Wildcats right here on the CatEye Network. Welcome back to Jackie Robinson Ballpark. We have a pitching change for the first time in 2024. The Skyhawks send sophomore Pierce Friedman to the mound, the native of Swampscott, Massachusetts. Last year as a true freshman, appeared in 14 games with 7 starts and had the most innings pitched on the team at 52 2/3 and a team-high 41 strikeouts. Also led the team in ERA and was 4th in the NEC in ERA at 3.59. After the 3-run inning last time, the Wildcats will start with Jorge Rodriguez, the catcher, at the plate. First pitch outside and low. And the 1-0, chopped toward third. Hall fields and fires one away. The wind starts to pick up again, and the blue skies that we had at the beginning of the game are gone. And we started this doubleheader instead of a 3-game series to try and escape the rain. It looks like we may not do that. Bounce to the plate, and it's 1-0 to Ramses Cordova. Had a single in the 4th and was hit by a pitch and stranded in the 2nd. 1-0. Low, 2-0. Friedman is very fast. He's already looking to get back to his windup. And he's into it. And he's missed way outside and low for a 3rd time.
While I may take a second if I'm Friedman to slow that tempo down a little bit and get back into kind of form here, it is a refreshing part of the collegiate game to see guys work so quickly in a league now that's dominated by guys that just take forever, even with the pitch clock.
That one's so far outside on ball 4 that it skips to the backstop. Cordova, a 4-pitch walk. And he's on for his 3rd time today, Cordova. He's quietly put together not a bad day at the plate, hit by a pitch and a single. And he advanced to 3rd on the E7, and now another walk.
Yeah, before that ball was even out of Friedman's hands there, he was calling for another one. I don't know if it was a little slicker than he would like or what, but they got him a new one.
Here's Peter Vasquez. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. Aaron Herbst Riley Herbst is a NASCAR driver. My mind's on the racetrack. 500 weekend this weekend. Aaron Herbst has done a terrific job at second base for Stonehill, spinning a throwback to first. To this point in the game, he has 7 putouts and has been involved in 2 double plays. The 0-1 is low, 1-1. It's a yeoman's job right now behind the plate for Sengenberger to keep these balls from going to the backstop now with runners on base.
They're setting up low, but definitely not that low.
1-1. Breaking ball, check swing foul, 1-2. Peter Vasquez, a junior transfer from Cipolla College. Another one of those JUCO guys, state of Florida, that kind of slipped through the cracks. And he laces this one opposite field. There's a base hit. It's going to bounce in front of Keeley. And there's 2 on with 1 out.
You know, you look at the roster, and so many new guys, so many new faces, but one of the perks of going after so many junior college guys is a lot of these guys know how to play. They know how to win in many cases, having a lot of success in their previous spots. And so you don't have to go through a lot of the growing pains. There's obviously a little bit of growth, you know, in the team, in the locker room, but they're come with that experience. And we've seen it the last couple of years here with Coach Hernandez. Guys tend to click faster.
Here's Sergio Rivera. His single started the rally that plated 2 runs in the 5th for the Wildcats. Singled and scored on the Chun 2 RBI single. And how many times last year did the bottom of the order pick up this offense in a tight spot? They've done it again today. Here's the 1-0. Grounded left side. Past the diving glove of Marshall. Rounding third and coming home. Here's Cordova. No, he'll hold it third, as it was a nice throw by Keeley to keep him at third base. But the bases are juiced with 1 down.
And the guy who we've seen plenty of clutch from in the past season, Colton Olesen, had a career year at the plate last year. I mean, not the kind of production I don't think we expected from watching him a previous year. Hit over 300. Kind of guy that all year you're like, well, could he hit higher up in the order? Should he hit in the top half? Maybe a leadoff guy. And he did make, you know, a couple of appearances near the top, but just such a great 9-hitter to have.
That one skips. It gets away. Here comes the runner. It is safe at home as the ball gets away from Friedman. And we talked about that wildness of the pitcher. It comes back to get him as Ramses Cordova scores on a wild pitch, and the runners move up.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. Friedman had him beat. He had formed a wall between the cleat and the base, but the ball ends up popping out of the glove. And so it's an easy call there for the home plate official.
Yeah, Cordova was late on the signal to go home, and he had him dead to rights if he hung on to the ball. Another one in the dirt from Friedman. Wildcats now lead this one 4-0 with runners on second and third with 1 down here in the 6th. And Olesen facing a 2-0 count. Here's the pitch. Low, 3-0, even though that one closer to the zone than the other 2.
Just another guy who's been working down, down, down. Ever since he stepped foot on the mound, everything's been down.
That one almost skips away again, but it's ball 4. And a second walk issued by Friedman, and the bases are loaded.
Friedman has kind of an interesting delivery to the plate. Kind of a very violent whipping at the elbow almost, rather than, you know, more of that full reaching back and putting more leg power behind it. I'm not sure if that's kind of why he's maybe been pulling the ball a little low.
It seems like he's over-rotating, right, and releasing it really late, and that's why the ball is going so low. He's bounced them to the plate a couple of times. And he's getting that over-rotation, hits the ground, and then it skips away from the catcher because the ball is rotating to the left and skipping that way.
It's really kind of been a worst of possible combination for him. It's interesting to see the decision. You know, it's probably credit to the recruiting and everything that Stonehill has done. But he did have a solid season, was kind of the banner guy in the front for Stonehill in a lot of ways last year. Getting kind of thrown in as a middle reliever tonight.
Another one in the dirt that the catcher Sengenberger has to handle. Bases juiced, top of the order. Here's Daniel Figueroa. Grounded out all 3 times today. 4-3, 1-3, and then hit a sac bunt in the 5th that allowed the Wildcats to plate 2 on the next batter. Grounded towards first. Coming home with it to get the lead runner is Thorbon. So Vasquez is out 1-2, and the runners advance to second and third with 2 down. Correction, bases loaded, 2 down. And now here's Garrett Chun, who had the 2 RBI single in the last inning. And he looks at strike 1 right down the middle.
And it's really been clear by the way that these batters have been called, the pitching approach has been that they're just going to keep trying it low. There's another one.
Ball gets away from the catcher, but no play at the plate.
It's an impossible situation because unless they're basically telling Friedman, you have to find the zone, because if we try to go up, you're going to leave it middle and we're going to get torched.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, and you could tell that Chun wanted all of that, but he just fouls it straight back.
That's kind of what we talked about. They set up a little higher that time, but still on the lower half of the zone and pulled it a little high. Chun would love to have another one like that.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Chun does get another one like that. It was a little late, fouls it off again. Earlier when I talked about the NEC Baseball preseason coaches poll, I was accidentally looking at the last year one where they were picked 11th. They were picked 7th in a tie with Coppin State this year. Ahead of UMES, Lemoyne. Right down the middle. Umpire calls it a ball, says he missed it low, and the count 1-2. Stonehill was walking off the field. The 1-2 outside 2-2. And yeah, so in the NEC, they're tied with Coppin State for 7th, ahead of Maryland Eastern Shore, Lemoyne, Delaware State, and Norfolk State. And ahead of them, first place is Central Connecticut State, picked to repeat as conference champions. Wagner's Sacred Heart. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4, as the scoreboard was incorrect. So Friedman walks in a run. Chun to first, Figueroa to second. Olison to third, and Rivera all the way in to score the second Wildcat run of the inning, and it is 5-0. First pitch upstairs at the letters to Jose Gonzalez. Wildcats are 2 batters away from batting around here. And the second pitch is outside. Friedman again struggling with command. And we haven't talked a lot about opening day jitters because it seems like both starters and a lot of the defenders and most of the offense don't have them. But Friedman places it right down the middle. That one's grounded towards short. Flip to second to end the inning. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Great inning for the Wildcats. 2 runs, no errors, and the bases left loaded. Wildcats 5, Stonehill Skyhawks nothing. We go to the 7th when we come back. This is BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network.
Number 3, Jack Marshall.
We go to the 7th inning. Jack Marshall leads off for the Skyhawks, who find themselves down 5-0 now after back-to-back 2-run innings by the Wildcats. Tanner Bocabello still on the hill dealing. And the foul ball hits the press box that is actually above our heads and dislodges a little piece of wood that falls onto the table.
Yeah, we were advised probably be very careful, if not be under here at all.
And maybe that's why. Ground ball middle, that'll be a tough play, and there is no play for anybody. It squeaks through, and it's a leadoff single for Marshall. So the leadoff man aboard for the 4th inning straight for Stonehill, but they've not been able to make anything of it. And they've only had 2 men on at one time, once in that last inning. Here's Sengenberger, who is doing such a great job behind the plate, keeping balls from going to the backstop, and he gets a ground ball base hit to left field. Here comes Stonehill as they've got 2 on and nobody out.
Now it'll be interesting to see what the leash looks like for Bocabello. With another game to come, you'd like to give him a chance to work out of it. With a 5-run lead, you'd certainly like to give him a chance to work out of it. But at the same time, you don't want to shoot somebody's confidence down on opening day and let up a crooked number.
Is a arm working out there for Bethune-Cookman. Can't quite make out who it is. Squaring to bunt is Herbst. The ball goes high, pulls it back for ball 1. Herbst has been a rock out at second base defensively, but he's been hit by a pitch, caught at a double play, and struck out in his first 2 plate appearances. Here's the 1-0 from Bocabello. Chop foul, 1-1. The wind has all but died away. Just a very gentle breeze straight in from center that barely moves the flag. As you remember earlier in this game, that ball was whipping left to right. Bocabello gets Herbst to swing bunt through a ball outside corner, and it's 1-2. Tanner trying to recover after giving up 2 base hits here to start the inning. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strike 3, and down goes Herbst for the 2nd time on K's.
Went down low for Bocabello, like we said. Just been great at finishing at bats. When he gets ahead, he really hasn't given guys a ton of chances to get back in and make an at-bat competitive. He's put them away. Been very consistent about that all afternoon.
Here is Taylor Gaspar, fielder's choice in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th. Upstairs on the fastball from Bocabello, 1-0. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Bocabello deals strike at the knees. He is whizzing that fastball in there, and if he hits his spot on that low outside corner, Stonehill has not really had an answer for it. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball. Chopped to the left side. There's a base hit. Rounding 3rd and coming home is Marshall. He will hold at 3rd. And the Skyhawks have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Trying to watch Coach Hernandez. No decision to go to the bullpen yet. I also think it's be a tough call to send in a bullpen arm with the bases loaded on opening day. It does look like
but
he may be getting
here
ready.
is Connor Keeley, top of the order for Stonehill with the bases juiced. And Rodriguez wants to go out there to talk to Bocabello, so we can talk about the predicted order of finish in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Bethune-Cookman picked 2nd in the East with 4 first-place votes. Alabama State with 7 first-place votes is predicted 1st. FAMU is 3rd. Jackson State 4th. Alabama A&M 5th. And Mississippi Valley 6th. Exact same order that the teams finished in the season before. Out in the West, which almost feels like a different league in baseball. Here's the pitch. Up and into Keeley, ball one. Grambling State, first place. Prairie View A&M second. Southern third. Texas Southern fourth. Arkansas Pine Bluff fifth. And Alcorn State sixth. Here's the 1-0. Bill Cabello hits the exact same spot, and it's 2-0.
There were some talks in the offseason about going to a SWAC schedule where you play both sides or eliminate conferences altogether. Those will probably come to fruition in short order, but for this year, it's still going to be kind of a similar situation.
I kind of equate it to the way that the MLB was way in the old days when you had a National League champion and American League champion, and other than that, you really didn't see the other league during the regular season. Here's the 2-1. Line to third. On to second for one. Olison to first. Double play, and the Wildcats get out of it. How do you like that? The Wildcats survive a scare. No runs, 3 hits, bases left loaded, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. 5-0 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. Gonzalez Febo leads off the bottom of the 7th for the Wildcats, and he hits this one off the hands into the Skyhawks bullpen down the right field line, 0-1. Febo had the solo homer in the 2nd, then has grounded out to second base twice in the 4th and the 5th, and he bats again in the 7th. Friedman still out there pitching for Stonehill, and he gets Febo to foul one off again. We will likely see a new pitcher for Bethune-Cookman headed to the 8th. Breaking ball hit high in the air to left field and deep. Back goes Keeley. Track, wall, he makes the catch and runs into the wall. Febo was maybe a foot from having a 2nd home run on opening day.
Got under it just a hair, no wind to back him up. Flag has gone completely limp out there in second field, or in center field, but man, you can hear it off the bat. He got
all of it.
Every piece of that ball.
Remember, true freshman, first college game. He's got 1 home run. He almost had a 2nd one. First pitch is a breaking ball upstairs and into Jorge Rodriguez.
We just know how tough it is to hit it over the fence in this ballpark. That's a guy that if he can create some serious power in the middle of the lineup, the Wildcats have not had that.
Another breaking ball misses inside. This is Rodriguez. He's 0 for 3 with 2 ground outs and a pop out. So not the greatest opening day at the plate for him. He takes a strike outside corner at the waist. Here's the 1-1. This one's drilled to left. Back goes Keeley. He's at the track. He makes a leaping catch and runs into the wall again. It's deja vu from 30 seconds ago, and there's 2 away in the inning. Wow.
And the 2 balls couldn't have really been hit any differently than each other. That ball was a rope compared to the towering fly ball we saw the previous bit, but both were just tanked out there to left. But props to Keeley, made 2 great plays.
And if we're in any other SWAC ballpark, the Wildcats have back-to-back jacks right there.
No doubt about it.
Says a lot for the potential of this lineup. So now with 2 down, here is Ramses Cordova. Singled and reached third on an error in the 4th, hit by pitch in the 2nd, and then walked and scored last inning.
You know, in talking to Coach Hernandez in the offseason, by no means does he picture this Wildcat squad as a power-focused club.
Pitch inside, 2-1.
Kind of figured to see a similar setup from last year. A lot of doubles, a lot of hitting in the gaps, a lot of, you know, making it work. You know, it still will be interesting to see, you know, how you navigate maybe morphing into more of a power-type team or something similar.
This one's hit high in the air to left field again. It's not going to get back to the wall. Keeley still racing over near the line, makes the catch, and the Wildcats hit 3 straight flyouts to left, and they go 1, 2, 3, but not for the lack of trying. We go to the 8th. There'll be a new Wildcat pitcher when we come back. This is BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. Wildcats with a 5-0 lead. To the 8th we go, as let's turn on the microphones. Maybe that will work. New pitcher for Bethune-Cookman is Patrick Gork. And he puts a fastball in there, the count 1-1 to Sam Parks. Gork, a tall, lean right-hander. And he works the fastball low and away for strike 2.
From Land O'Lakes, Florida, about 15 minutes from home for me.
That one sails outside, and it's 2-2.
Had a lot of friends that attended Sun Lake High School, where he spent some of his time, not most of his time playing ball, but did spend some time there.
Fouled away, count holds. He's a senior this year, is well-traveled in the college game. Mostly for Florida State College of Jacksonville. This one's poked in the air down the left field line, headed towards the wall, and it is caught by Chun, 1 away. That is 4 straight outs to left field. 3 by the Wildcats, now 1 by the Skyhawks.
Let's make it 5.
And he has played in this county before, played for the DeLand Suns of the Florida Collegiate League. in the last offseason.
A lot of guys playing summer ball, or a lot of Appy League guys. A lot of guys just, staying on their game, working on their game in the offseason.
That's a nice pitch outside. Gets a swing and miss from Trey Chula Hall. Chula Hall, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Was caught in a double play in the 4th, and he gets this one towards short. Velasquez fields and fires, and there are 2 away. Quickly, before we get too much farther, there has been a defensive change for the Wildcats. At third base, Cordova is out, and Jamie Villafane is now in at third.
First baseman number 37, Jack Thornbaugh.
Correction, Peter Vasquez is in at third. So Vasquez has moved from short to third, and Villafane is in at short. The 0-1 is low. This is Jack Thorbon with 2 away. And the base is empty. And he fouls this one off left-hand side, and Gork is a strike away from getting out of the inning. 1-2-3.
Yeah, he's been surgical since he's been on the mound.
Grunts with that one and fouls it off. Fastball sits a bit faster than Bocabello's did. Doesn't have as much run on the breaking ball.
Yeah, you can definitely tell a difference. Pop of the glove, how quick it gets to the catcher.
That one he did wind the breaking ball in there, but it misses low at the feet of Thorbon. And it's 2-2. Gork trying to get out of the inning. And it's fouled off to the left again. You can tell that Thorbon is having a tough time catching up to the heat from Gork.
Yeah, BCU had a ton of success last year out of the pen. At the mid-major level, at the SWAC level even. A lot of guys can't catch up with that heat, especially when you run it up in the zone.
2-2. Ran it up again. Did he go? Yes, sir. It's a strikeout for Gork, and 1-2-3. Go the Skyhawks. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 5-0 Bethune-Cookman. This is BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. Vasquez leads off for the Wildcats in the 8th, trying to cushion a 5-0 lead here on opening day at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. He grounds one to second. Herbst is there like he's been all game, makes his 8th put out of the contest, and there's one away.
You know, the Skyhawks have had their moments, their blips defensively, but they've had a couple of guys who've really stood out, obviously right there at second base. On in left field, obviously we saw an outstanding inning last time around for Connor Keeley.
Made all 3 outs, 2 of them in spectacular fashion as he ran into the wall to catch a towering fly and a line drive hit out there by Febo and Rodriguez. This is Rivera And the ball pops out of the catcher's glove and rolls away. Count 2-0, excuse me. Sergio Rivera has been up twice. He's 2 for 3 with 2 singles and 2 runs scored. Not a bad opening day. And the 2-0 squares to bunt, puts it down the first base line and foul. It's an interesting choice, bunting with the bases empty.
Well, we saw a good one earlier in this one, and with the speed of this Wildcats team, of course with the speed of Rivera down there in the 8 spot, who knows? Trying to get on base.
Try to drag it down the first base line with him to beat the throw. We may see him go back to it with only 1 strike on him. Obviously, that was something that Coach Hernandez, who's standing over at third, called. That's a difference this year for the Wildcats with the departure of former assistant coach, got a blank on his name,
Jose Carballo took off for Missouri.
Yeah,
and make no mistake about it, this was a choice for Hernandez. I think that regardless, he would still be out there this year.
Ball low, 3-1. Yeah, it's interesting to see Hernandez out there coaching third base as opposed to coaching from the dugout. That's ball 4. Rivera walks, and he's been on base 3 out of his 4 times up today, and that'll bring up number 9, Colton Olson.
Just been a great first game. You know, I say great opening day, but we've got more opening day to come. But it's across the board. Haven't really made any major mistakes. Guys have seen the ball well. Guys have laid off bad pitches. The defense has been solid. The pitching has been outstanding, especially with the way Gork threw the ball the last inning.
1 on, 1 out. First pitch outside and low to Colton Olson. Olson, 1 for 2 with a walk. Grounded out in the 3rd. Singled and scored in the 5th. Walked and was stranded on 3rd in the 6th. And the 1-0 from Friedman. He decides to go to first with it. That is one thing the Skyhawks have done throughout this game. They've been very aggressive. Every time the Wildcats have had a runner on first, I think that they've tried to pick him off at least once.
At the collegiate level, a lot of times I feel like you see that come back to bite a lot of teams that throw over so much. Like, you're just bound to make a mistake eventually. But for both sides here tonight, it hasn't yet. Had a couple of high throws, maybe some ones where you hold your breath a little bit, but nothing major. Also hasn't benefited them anyway. Haven't caught anybody. Haven't really been close.
The 1-0 is right down the middle. Colton looks at it. Olson, probably the shortest guy on the team. Standing just 5'7". But that may be generous.
Textbook player, not the size of the dog in the fight.
A 1-1, inside almost hit him. Olson backs up, and it's 2-1. And with the way he swings that bat, if you find the zone, he will punish you.
He's just a guy who had that taste of the title last year and didn't have to take that last year of eligibility, chose to do it. Wants to win one.
Outside 3-1, and Friedman continues to struggle to find the zone, especially over-rotating, releasing late, and missing outside. Let's see if he holds the bat on his shoulder with this 3-1. Here's the pitch from Friedman. It is in the dirt, ball 4. And 2 straight walks puts runners on first and second with 1 out. And here comes the top of the order with Daniel Figueroa.
Just very clearly take all the way there from the plate. I think if you get 1 ball outside for anybody here on out, whether it be Figueroa or anyone else, it's probably going to be keep that bat glued to your shoulder until he tells you otherwise. Although with Stonehill's manager on the way out, we may not have a chance to see that.
And we may have a new pitcher as somebody is trotting in from the outside for Stonehill. And as we wait for a new pitcher to approach, we'll tell you, you can stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamondcats on Twitter. One of the best Twitter handles in college baseball, BCU Diamondcats. And we'll have a brand new Stonehill pitcher. There is I'm not sure what a group of Skyhawks is called.
I'm not sure what a Skyhawk is, if we're being fully transparent here on the broadcast. You know, we let off last year with the Mountain Hawks. This year it's the Skyhawks. We're just birds
We've got black bears coming in a couple weeks with Maine. Let me look at my schedule to see what else we got.
Birds flying south for the winter, if you will, if you can excuse the cheesiest thing I could come up with.
That's pretty cheesy. We don't have a lot of out-of-state games this year. The only series we have are Stonehill, Northwestern, and Maine, and that's it.
And choosing to take that Gulf Coast trip, returning the favor from 2 years ago when Florida Gulf Coast came here, and man, they hit the ball like crazy that year. Put up 10+ runs in every game on the weekend, I think. They were outstanding club, but everybody on there, some solid programs all around. Coach Hernandez doesn't have that kind of marquee trip like they have in years past. LSU, South Carolina last year, but that's okay. I mean, you get to see that high-profile program in some respects, but at the same time, Coach Hernandez is hunting a 40+ win season this year. Of course, we know he's also only 17 away from 100 for him in his career here. Now, make no mistake, he's not running up the score by any means. He's not a guy who's going to schedule like a lot of these SWAC opponents do. A lot of D2 schools, a lot of NAIA programs, a lot of, just local bus trips around. He's not going to do that. You got to challenge the guys early, otherwise you're going to pay for it, especially early in SWAC conference play.
And it pays
especially
off.
in the tournament.
Well, it pays off once you get to conference play, right? And then once you get to the tournament right late in the year, you've seen so much better pitching, so much better arms, much better defense than you're going to see in conference play. And the conference play for BCU baseball starts really fast this year. First conference series, March 15th, way earlier than it was last year that I remember. They traveled to Mississippi Valley first conference series this season, and then the second one is home against Florida A&M, the rematch of the SWAC conference finals last year. Let's take a look at the new pitcher for Stonehill. It is Rob Moynihan, a sophomore from Ledyard, Connecticut, transferred from Siena last year. So he made the Southern road trip with Siena a season ago, played a 3-game set with Stetson, a 3-game set with Jacksonville. So he's been around this part of the world early on in seasons, but only appeared in 1 game for the Saints last year. Graduate of Ledyard High School and then a CT Hurricane travel ball player. He comes on in a tough spot. The Wildcats have runners on first and second via the walk, and Daniel Figueroa, the top of the order, coming up. Figueroa grounded out in the first and third, bunted into a sack bunt situation in the fifth that allowed 2 runs to score later, and then hit into a fielder's choice in the 6th. And now he bats in the 8th with 2 on and 1 out. Sergio Rivera on second, almost got picked off, slides back in there safely. Colton Olison on first. First pitch from Rob is outside, breaking ball, missed it 1-0. Moynihan, I'm gonna have to not say Monahan, it's Moynihan. Here's the 1-0, outside 2-0, 2 pitches in the exact same spot to start the AB. Trying to get Figueroa to chase out there. Another righty pitcher for the Skyhawks. He comes from the stretch. And the 2-0 is low, 3-0. And if you're Figueroa here, I wouldn't take the bat off the shoulder, even if it's the meatiest meatball ever.
Yep, you're going to keep that thing glued. That's how the Wildcats have seen a lot of success. Just there's you don't see the command at this level that you do at even playing guys like LSU or South Carolina. Just keep the bat on your shoulder.
He does, and it's a strike at the knees.
See, that is one that's not a bad pitch to try to swing at. Middle of the zone, a little bit low. I'd probably keep the bat on my shoulders here too. Try to get a couple more runs across.
If it ain't close, don't offer. The 3-1 is way upstairs. Runner goes to third. He is safe. And it's a 3rd straight walk. Figueroa on, and the bases are juiced for Garrett Shun, who already has a 2 RBI single in a similar spot in the ballgame.
Moynihan's fortunate there that big looping breaking ball didn't break over the plate, because if he did, that's a textbook hanger right there.
So now Rivera on third, Olison on second, and here's Chun. It was the exact same situation for Chun in the 6th inning. No, correction, the 5th inning, when he singled through the right-hand side and scored Rivera and Chun, who were on second and third in that frame. With the bonus now Figueroa being on first. Bases juiced. Here's the 1-0. It's low, 2-0. And Moynihan is in danger of walking in the 6th Wildcat run.
you're BCU, you got to be excited about the possibility of resting your big-time arms in the back of the pen for the rest of the night, for tomorrow.
2-0. Way outside 3-0, and Sengenberger had to save that one from going to the backstop.
It's kind of been the tough break for the Skyhawks all day, is when they've missed, they haven't missed close. They haven't been competitive. There haven't been anything that BCU has even had to think about offering at, and it's just made it easy.
3-0, downstairs, ball 4. And they walk in a run. Rivera drops in from third to score. Olison goes to third. Figueroa to second, and Chun to first on the 4th straight walk given up by Skyhawk pitching. And we're going to see the coaching staff out again.
Pitching coach this time, we're going to come in and kind of talk through it, but you just have to make those pitches on the edges. They have to be worth offering at. Otherwise, the Wildcats can just put it in autopilot and swing once an AB,
yeah,
if that.
This is Zach Soltar, his first season with the Skyhawks. Comes to Stonehill after serving as the pitching coach at West Forsyth High School in North Carolina, but played in the Northeast, in Maine at Endicott College. And he is out there talking to his pitcher, Rob Moynihan. And we started the inning with Friedman, who walked 2, and then Moynihan walked 2. And I'm reminded of a game, not last year, but 2 years ago, down at Bethune-Cookman, Wildcats versus Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. The Devils run-ruled the Wildcats because the Wildcats walked, I think, 8 straight batters at one point.
It was one of the biggest collapses I think I've seen in a game here. Well, not here, but down at Bethune-Cookman.
Jose Gonzalez bats now, takes a breaking ball inside, ball 1. Base is still loaded, 1 out. Pitch. Right down the middle, 1-1. I'm sure the notification from the dugout is just take until you get something.
And for Moynihan, pound it inside. If they make you pay, so be it.
He tries the breaking ball inside corner again, and this time gets the call from the home plate umpire, now 1-2. First time he's been ahead in the count since coming onto the mound. Gonzalez staring at bases loaded, 1 man down, trying to increase the lead for the Wildcats. Breaking ball upstairs and into the letters. It's ball 2.
That breaking ball is so dangerous. It's one that you have to hit the top edge of the zone, or you have to duck it outside, because if that one falls inside, it's so slow to develop, it can get crushed.
That one was a heater upstairs and in. Gonzalez stays alive by fouling it straight back.
We definitely have to be careful now that we're down here, kind of on the concourse. Never know when a ball could find its way down right here on the table in front of us if we're not careful.
Yep. Here's the 2-2. Way upstairs, almost hit him. And it's the full count.
Just not quite getting that bite on the breaking ball. It's just a little too slow, a little too lofty. Got to give it a little bit more of a kick, get in the zone quicker, bite faster.
Fastball down the middle. This could be 2, but it will not be. Thorburn takes it himself. It's a 3 unassisted, and Olison scores from third. So it is now 7-0 Wildcats, with runners on second and third with 2 down. And here is Jorge Gonzalez Febo, who already has a home run in the second, missed one by about a foot in the 7th, and we could be in for some more fireworks here. First pitch to Febo is down the middle and hit high in the air to right field, not deep. Coming on is Gaspar. He makes the catch to end the inning. You could tell Febo really wanted that one.
Yeah, every time the ball's been off of his bat, you can hear just a difference in the way that it swings. He's hit the ball so hard. Hasn't been rewarded for it since the first one, but make no mistake about it, he's going to get his this season.
2 runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left. The Skyhawks walk in a run and get a fielder's choice run, and it is 7-0 Wildcats as we head to the 9th. 3 more outs to get out of this one and head on to game 2 right here on the CatEye Network. Come be a part of BCU Athletics and support the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, reach out to Wildcat Athletic Communications at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. That's bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. Last ups for the Skyhawks in the ball game. They're down 7-0 after the Wildcats have plated 2 runs in 3 of the last 4 innings to go with the solo shot by Febo in the second. First pitch up and in. There's a strike to Blaine Lidsky. Lidsky 0 for 3, a line out, a strikeout, and a flyout in his 3 plate appearances. This is still Patrick Groark on the hill, who has used his velocity to power through some hitters. Went 1-2-3 in his first inning of work. That time it's batted over the head of Olesen off the end of the bat and into right field for a base hit.
Nice piece of hitting there. Groark is a fun guy to watch on the mound. Works so quick. He's often waiting for the batter to go. He's not the guy that they're waiting for him.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you throw with that velocity, if you hit it in the wrong spot, that velocity can get sent right back at you. That was a nice way to turn that one back around, flare it out into right.
And one thing the Skyhawks have done really well, is there's a swing and miss from Jack Marshall, is get runners on, especially the leadoff runner. They've gotten the leadoff runner on in 6 of the 9 innings today, but have not been able to make any of them count. They've got 6 runs. There's another fastball swing and strike by Marshall, and it's 0-2. There will be no pitch clock violations today. All these pitchers have worked so fast.
Really, there's not a Wildcat pitcher I can think of in the last 2.5+ years that would ever really have an issue with it. They all work so quick.
Outside corner, no. Rodriguez tried to frame that one, and he's having a talk to the umpire about, hey, where did that one miss?
That was a tough one.
So it's 1-2, and Groark's going to have to come back to Marshall again with Lidsky on first. And it's hit high in the air, foul, right-hand side. Febo going over and will not have enough space to play it as it goes through where the roof would be if there was a roof.
That's why you wouldn't see any fans sitting back here with us. It's a little precarious.
Yeah, all the fans off to our left. Not a bad crowd here for a Friday afternoon game. Grounded right back to the pitcher. Groark to second. The ball skips away into center field. Nobody moves up. I guess we'll give that a single since nobody advanced.
It's a tough one. If you're Groark, it's probably one, you'd love to make the play there. In theory, the ball got to you quick enough. You could make it into a double play, but having to turn on a dime like that and spin it to second without setting your feet, it's a tough play to make. In hindsight, it's easy to say, should have just thrown over to first.
And after being up 2-0 or 0-2 in the count, to lose one like that, that's tough. And now 2 on, nobody out. Skyhawks had 2 on, nobody out in the 6th. Couldn't do anything with it as with the bases loaded. Their best hitter, Connor Keeley, grounded into a 5-4-3 double play to end the frame. This is Sengenberger, who is 1 for 3 with a fly out of the 2nd, a ground out in the 5th, and a single in the 6th. That one hit on a line towards short. Diving stop. Over to second for 1. That's all they'll get. So Marshall is out 6-4. Sengenberger goes to first on a fielder's choice, and Lidsky heads 90 feet away from home plate with just 1 out.
That's always going to be the key in situations like that. You let one get away, the previous batter. You locked right back in. Don't let it compound. Don't let them load the bases. Don't let them score 1. You certainly take the fielder's choice in a situation like that, and you try to go from there. With the velocity he has, you're very easily looking at 2 outs if he can work this count like he should be able to.
Trying to find the outside corner against Aaron Herbst. Herbst, the best defensive player of the game, has 8 putouts to his credit today, but got on with a hit by pitch in the 3rd and then 2 straight strikeouts in the 5th and 7th. So 0 for 2 with a walk today for Herbst. Inside ball 3, and it's 3-0. And the temperature has gone down a bit. The wind's picked up, and it's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk on the outside corner, and the bases are indeed loaded with 1 out.
Now, if you're Groark, you don't want to do too much here in the rest of this inning. It's okay to pitch to contact. You don't have to you know, it's an easy temptation to try to run up the high fastballs or try to paint the corners or try to. Now, you got to make sure you're not missing in the wrong spots, but you've got an outstanding defensive infield behind you. Work them to your advantage.
Yeah, and now Joel Sanchez, the pitching coach, is going to come out to talk to Groark. And this is an interesting spot, right? The Wildcats, they're up 7-0 in the ball game. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 9th. Double play ends the game. But I'm not sure they should be working for that specifically. Just try and pitch the contact, let the defense do the job. If you give up 1 or 2, you know, 7-2 is the same as 7-0 in the scoreboard.
Absolutely. Can't try to do too much. Again, let the defense work. Work for that ground ball contact.
And if you're Stonehill, you're now ruining those 4 straight walks in the last inning, because 7-0 is a lot big of a gap to stare down than 5.
It's always tough when you're looking down the barrel of a second game coming up too. You've used some arms, you've maybe extended a little bit more energy. 0-1 turns to 0-2 quickly.
First pitch to Taylor Gaspar will be after Rodriguez calls time behind the plate. Gaspar reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th, and singled in the 7th, where he was in the middle of that 5-4-3 ending double play. That one almost got by Rodriguez to the backstop. Nice piece of catching work there, and it's 1-0. Bases juiced, 1 out in the 9th for Stonehill. That one just a little bit low. Seems like the strike zone shrunk a little bit in this inning with the Stonehill offense finally showing some life. Here's the pitch from Groark. Swing and a miss. Fastball outside corner, 1-1. Or excuse me, 2-1.
Kind of an excuse me swing right there. I think he expected the ball to break down almost in the dirt.
That one fouled straight back, and it's 2-2.
Almost flinched on that one.
Almost.
I did,
almost.
but
that
I
one was
did think
coming
about
right
it.
for you.
Right in my face. And you know what? I was ready for it. If that's how it ends, then at least we got the W.
Here's the 2-2. Right down the middle, strike 3, and Gaspar kept the bat on his shoulder. And the Wildcats are 1 out away from taking this one.
Just had him completely fooled the entire at bat. Had no idea what to expect, and sometimes the thing to expect is best pitch in his arsenal, right down the middle, right at you, nothing you can do about it.
Well, with 2 outs, the bases loaded and the game on the line, Connor Keeley is at bat, and that's who the Wildcats would want up here. First pitch outside, ball 1. Best batter on the team last year, .361 batting average, which was 5th in the NEC with an OBP of .442. The 1-0 down the middle, hit high in the air, behind the plate, headed towards the Skyhawks dugout. It is going to tick the net and just be a loud strike, and it's 1-1. Also a career-high 9 doubles, and was tops on the team and ranked 6th in the NEC with 73 hits. And he is up in a big spot right here in Game 1 of the 2024 season.
Talking about a pretty big momentum swing from putting some runs on the board, at least going down fighting too. Kind of a whimper here if they can't make something happen.
Fastball just is outside, and it's 2-1. Keeley in the game, flied out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, singled in the 6th, and hit into the 5-4-3 double play in the 7th. Count 2-2. 2 outs, bases loaded, top of the 9th. Here's the pitch from Groark. Breaking ball low, and again, the scoreboard was incorrect. There were 3 balls. So that walks in a run. Second walk of the inning for Groark. Lidsky scores from 3rd. Sengenberger goes to 3rd. Herbst goes to 2nd, and Keeley on 1st. And the Skyhawks get a run the same way the Wildcats did in the bottom of the last inning. First pitch upstairs, ball 1 to Sam Parks.
And it's Groark's game, make no mistake about that. There's little if no chance that the Wildcats go to the bullpen at this point.
That one in there at the knees, strike 1. So Sengenberger on 3rd, Herbst on 2nd, Keeley on 1st. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-1.
Low and away has been the recipe all afternoon. Low and away is how this at-bat has started.
Here's the 2-1. Up and away this time. Doesn't get the call. 3-1. You can tell that Groark maybe just kind of wants the strikeout. Just trying to pitch those corners. The 3-1. Swing and a chop foul back to the screen, 3-2. And Groark needs to find the strike zone now because another ball means another run with the bases still loaded.
See, that pitch was more along the lines of where I think we should be at this point, is pitching to contact, trying to get him to pop it up right there in the zone, high, fastball.
Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called at the knees. Parks didn't offer at it, and this one belongs to the maroon and gold. They give up 1 run on 2 hits in the 9th. They leave the bases loaded to the Skyhawks, but the Wildcats win this one. 7 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Wildcats. 1 on 6 hits, 1 error for Stonehill. The winning pitcher for the Wildcats, Tanner Bocabello. Groark picks up the save, and the Wildcats move to 1-0 on the season. We'll get out of the way quickly here so we can reset, have a bit of a break, and then in about 30 to 45 minutes, we'll be back with Game 2 of this doubleheader between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Stonehill Skyhawks. The Wildcats win this one 7-1, and we will go to Game 2 next, right here on the CatEye Network.